The jungle whispered secrets beneath the canopy as Dr. Alexander Reed said. Legends often hide fragments of truth. His tone was steady, yet his eyes betrayed obsession. Emily Carter, his cautious ally, frowned and muttered, "Truth buried in shadows can consume you." The expedition had begun at dawn, with heavy mist curling around their camp. Old maps and tattered journals hinted at El Dorado's existence, though scholars dismissed them as myths. A weathered compass spun, as if sensing something unseen. The dense Amazon forest seemed alive, vines curling like fingers, rivers rushing with hidden menace. Reed's determination felt unshakable, though fear simmered beneath. Emily hesitated, clutching her satchel, unwilling yet compelled. Their journey toward the lost city was not a march into discovery, but into danger, a step closer to revelation and ruin. Reed pushed forward into the jungle, ignoring the heaviness in the air. Emily whispered, "Every path here feels like it swallows us." Birds screeched above, unseen but ominous. Vines brushed against their arms like warnings. Their boots sank into mud, each step pulling them deeper. Reed muttered, "Maps never capture the truth of a place." Sweat trickled down his temples, but he refused to slow. Emily's breathing quickened as she scanned the shadows, sensing eyes watching them. The jungle grew louder, sounds blending into a maddening symphony of life. What began as a search for knowledge now felt like trespassing. The group halted when the sound of rushing water grew louder. Reed said a river nearby. "It might guide us." Emily frowned, scanning the dense trees. The forest seemed to shift, trunks bending in the mist. Reed unfolded a brittle map, the ink nearly erased by time. Emily whispered, "What if this leads to nowhere?" He answered firmly, "Then nowhere is still closer to truth than standing still." Their voices seemed absorbed by the jungle, leaving only silence. The river roared in the distance, promising both guidance and peril. The expedition reached the riverbank, its surface glittering under shards of sunlight. Reed crouched, tracing patterns in the mud, murmuring, "Signs of passage." Emily stood back, uneasy, whispering, "Or signs of something watching." The current churned, fast and unpredictable. The air smelled metallic, like rust and blood. A branch cracked in the distance, sending ripples through the group's nerves. Reed gritted his teeth, clutching his compass, determined to follow the current's path deeper. They built a small fire by nightfall, shadows stretching like claws across the clearing. Reed stared into the flames, muttering, "Legends are born of sparks like these." Emily sat opposite, pulling her jacket tight, whispering, "And sparks can burn everything." The jungle hummed around them, insects and distant howls rising. A sense of unseen eyes lingered beyond the trees. Reed opened a journal, its pages trembling in his hands from the night wind. He drew in a deep breath, already consumed by the journey ahead. Dawn broke as Reed marched ahead, his boots sinking deeper into the wet earth. Emily followed reluctantly, muttering, "The jungle swallows paths faster than we can make them." The air was thick with insects, buzzing like whispers. The cries of distant howler monkeys echoed through the trees, warning of intruders. "Reed," said, "legends thrive where men fear to tread." He gripped his compass tightly, ignoring its trembling needle. Emily brushed away a spider web, her patience thinning, yet she stayed. They stumbled across ancient carvings, etched into a mossy stone, half-buried, lines sharp, despite centuries. Reed's breath quickened, obsession rising. Emily whispered, "Some doors were never meant to be open." They reached a clearing where towering stone pillars jutted out of the earth. Reed whispered, "Proof the city was more than myth." The carvings spiraled with strange symbols. Emily frowned, tracing one with her finger, whispering, "It feels alive." The jungle hushed as though listening. A parrot screeched overhead, breaking the silence. Reed's eyes gleamed, hunger for answers overwhelming caution. Emily glanced nervously toward the trees, sensing they were not alone. The carvings pulsed in dappled sunlight, shadows twisting across the stone. Reed said, Every step confirms we are close. Emily muttered, all closer to never leaving. The river bent sharply, forming a gorge where water thundered below. Reed leaned forward, eyes wide, whispering, "This gorge leads deeper than any map." Emily steadied herself on a branch, uneasy. "The land doesn't want us here," she said. The roar of water filled their ears, drowning all else. Birds circled overhead, their cries shrill and frantic. Reed unfolded his journal, sketching hurried notes, hands trembling. Emily sighed, clutching her satchel as if it could shield her. The path narrowed dangerously, jagged rocks threatening to break every misstep. Reed muttered, "The city is testing us already." The group stumbled upon a half-collapsed shrine hidden among roots. Reed knelt quickly, brushing away moss, whispering, "This is a marker." Emily crouched behind, eyes darting nervously. "Markers are for warnings, not welcomes," she said. Strange glyphs covered the cracked stones, glowing faintly in the fading light. The jungle around them grew deathly still. Reed's voice grew sharp, "Every risk is worth the truth." Emily pulled back, muttering, "Truth is worthless if it buries you." Reed traced the glyphs with a trembling hand, the obsession in him growing dangerous. The shrine stood as both invitation and curse. Night fell swiftly, stars smothered by jungle canopy. Reed sat by the fire, journal in hand, sketching furiously. Emily leaned back, arms crossed, muttering, "Your hunger blinds you." Reed didn't look up, replying, "Hunger is what keeps men alive." The fire cracked, sending sparks into the humid night. Shadows danced across their tired faces. The jungle hummed with unseen life, every sound a threat. Emily pulled her jacket tight, whispering, "I don't fear the jungle. I fear you losing yourself to it." Reed's eyes flared, but he said nothing. Only the fire spoke, crackling between them. The jungle narrowed into a suffocating corridor, trees bent inward like watchful giants. Reed pressed forward, sweat streaking his brow. Emily whispered, "Every step feels staged, like someone set this path." The air thickened, carrying faint sounds of chanting. It came low, rhythmic, echoing through unseen chambers. Reed's eyes widened, his voice trembling with hunger. Voices confirmed the city's truth. Emily grabbed his sleeve, whispering sharply, "Or it's a trap meant for fools." Their lanterns flickered, shadows stretching unnaturally along the trunks. The jungle itself felt alive, as though conspiring to force them onward. Reed's jaw tightened, obsession drowning caution. Emily's fear grew heavier with every echo, but she followed, compelled by loyalty and dread. The chanting faded as they entered a clearing, stone altars looming cracked and broken. Their surfaces bore faint red stains, old yet unsettling. Emily whispered, "This is no shrine. It's a warning carved in blood." Reed crouched, running calloused fingers over jagged carvings. His voice shook with exhilaration, proof of ritual, proof of life. The silence pressed down, heavy wind carrying whispers through cracks in stone. Emily's voice trembled, "We should leave before we join their offering." But Reed's obsession eclipsed fear. The jungle shrieked suddenly, insects crying out, branches rattling like bones. Reed muttered, "This city lived, bled, and remembered. We are its witnesses now." Emily turned away, stomach twisting with dread. Reed pulled a parchment from roots entwined with stone. Its edges crumbled, but words glimmered faintly. His voice quivered, "A survivor's account." Emily leaned closer, whispering, "Or bait left for the desperate." The parchment described walls plated in gold, sacrifices echoing screams into eternity. Reed's eyes gleamed, his hands trembling, closer than ever. Emily's voice hardened, "You sound like the men who vanished here." Branches snapped above, owls screeched, leaves showered down. A sudden gust scattered dirt across the parchment. Reed clutched it to his chest, breathing fast, obsession solidifying into desperation. Emily shivered, whispering, "The jungle protects its secrets, and it's warning us to turn back." They reached a ravine spanned by a decaying rope bridge, wood rotting black with time. Reed stepped forward without hesitation, muttering, "It endures, because it was meant to be crossed." Emily hissed, "It endures to punish arrogance." Boards cracked violently under Reed's boots, echoing into the abyss. Below, water thundered against jagged stone, mist rising like ghostly hands. Reed's grip whitened on the ropes, determination carving deep lines in his face. Emily followed reluctantly, every board groaning beneath her steps. The silence of the ravine pressed down, broken only by the bridge's agonized creak. Halfway across, Reed whispered into the void, "Every danger confirms the legend's truth." Emily's heart raced, praying the ropes would not betray them. The far side revealed a collapsed camp, rusted gear scattered like bones of ambition. Reed knelt beside a skull half buried in soil. His whisper was reverent. Others sought El Dorado and failed. Emily recoiled, her voice trembling. "This is our warning, Alex." The skull's empty sockets seemed to gaze directly into Reed's unraveling sanity. His jaw tightened, muttering, "Failure means they were close, closer than anyone else." Emily's anger cut through fear. "Your obsession blinds you. You'll end here like them." Wind howled, scattering ashes across their boots, like ghosts stirring from forgotten graves. Reed gripped the skull with white knuckles, hunger consuming his stare. Emily stepped back slowly, realizing she no longer feared the jungle but the man beside her. The jungle opened into a grove where broken statues lay, faces eroded by centuries of rain. Reed whispered, "They built guardians here." Emily's eyes narrowed, her tone sharp, "or graves to warn trespassers." From the shadows stumbled an older man, clothes torn, his frame gaunt. His eyes darted wildly, haunted. He murmured, "You walk where others drowned in blood." Reed's breath caught, proof of a survivor, flesh among stone. Emily stepped forward, cautious, whispering, "Who are you?" The man trembled, clutching a carved pendant, muttering fragments of prayers. Reed's obsession surged, seeing not a broken soul but a vessel of truth. The jungle fell eerily silent as though bowing to the stranger's tragedy. The man collapsed to his knees, breathing shallowly, muttering of cities paved with gold and walls dripping red. Reed knelt, voice urgent, "Tell me where." Emily pulled him back sharply, hissing, "He needs help, not your hunger." The man's eyes flicked between them, seeing both greed and pity. His whisper cracked, "Gold is a curse, it devours all who touch it." Reed's jaw clenched, muttering, "Curses are the language of fools." Emily's hands trembled as she gave the man water, her compassion clashing with Reed's obsession. The jungle hummed low, cicadas singing like a dirge. The old man clutched his pendant tighter, tears tracing dirt on his face. Reed pressed the survivor for details, voice sharp, "Where is El Dorado?" The man shook, muttering, "Buried in rivers of blood." Emily's voice cracked, "He's broken, Alex." Reed ignored her, eyes feverish. The man coughed, revealing scars across his arms, symbols carved like brands. Emily gasped, whispering, "He was marked." Reed leaned closer, muttering, "Proof of those who reached the city." The man's whisper trembled, "No one reaches, only the city reaches into you." Emily's heart ached, pity flooding her, while Reed's hunger twisted sympathy into calculation. The jungle canopy darkened as if pulling them into its secrets. The man clutched Reed's wrist suddenly, whispering, "You seek answers, but the city will take more than truth." Reed froze, breath ragged, his eyes wide with hunger and doubt. Emily hissed, "Listen to him. He's what's left of the truth you chase." The old man's voice cracked, "I lost my wife, my sons, all swallowed by the jungle's promise." Tears streaked his gaunt face as he released Reed's arm. Emily's voice softened, "This is what obsession does." Reed pulled away, muttering, "It is sacrifice, not failure." The fire in his eyes refused to dim, even as the man's tragedy stood as warning carved in flesh. Night fell as the survivor lay wrapped in Reed's blanket, muttering restless prayers. Reed sat apart, scribbling frantically into his journal, his eyes glowing in firelight. Emily whispered, "He's dying, Alex, and you're still writing." Reed growled, Every death is a doorway. His story is proof. Emily glared, her voice breaking. His story is pain, and you're turning it into fuel. The old man stirred weakly, clutching his pendant, whispering, "The city takes everything." His voice faded like smoke. Emily lowered her head, grief and fury colliding. Reed did not stop writing, his pen scratching like a blade, obsession carving deeper into his soul. The night was restless, the fire barely alive, shadows flickering across Reed's face. Emily whispered, "He'll die before dawn." Reed didn't look up, scribbling into his journal. The older man coughed violently, clutching his pendant. His voice cracked, "The jungle keeps no promises but hunger." Emily reached for him, but Reed pulled her hand back, muttering, "Every word he utters is a piece of the map." Emily's fury snapped, "He's a man, not a clue." The air trembled with tension. Above them, vultures circled, wings cutting through moonlight. The jungle's chorus grew louder, as though mocking their fragile alliance. By dawn, the survivor was gone, his pendant lying cold in the dirt. Emily whispered, "He was the last warning." Reed pocketed the pendant, muttering, "He was the last clue." Emily's voice hardened, "You stole his dying breath for your madness." Reed snapped, "I carry his truth when he no longer can." Emily recoiled, anger burning through fear. The jungle groaned, trees swaying though no wind stirred. A sense of betrayal hung thick, not just between them but in the air itself. Reed's obsession grew claws, tearing away the fragile thread of trust. They pressed onward, silence heavier than the air. The trees parted, revealing stone steps swallowed by vines. Reed whispered, "The path continues." Emily's eyes narrowed, "You mean the curse continues?" As they climbed, symbols carved into stone flickered with damp moss. Emily's breath caught, "It feels like we're being watched." Reed's face hardened, muttering, "The city calls those brave enough to answer." The jungle darkened unnaturally, light fading though it was midday. Emily clenched her satchel tighter, her voice trembling, "Or it lures us to destroy us." Their words carved chasms deeper than the stone beneath their feet. At the staircase summit lay broken camps, remnants of others who had come before. Rusted weapons and tattered tents littered the ground. Emily whispered, "So many tried, all failed." Reed crouched, rifling through abandoned journals. His voice rose, "They failed, because they lacked conviction." Emily's anger sharpened, conviction didn't save them. Reed's grip tightened on a journal page, his eyes ablaze. Emily stepped back, muttering, "You're becoming what killed them." The jungle's hum grew deafening, cicadas and birds shrieking as though mocking their fragile grip on reason. Shadows stretched unnaturally across the ruins. Night fell again, and Emily's patience finally broke. She stood across the fire, her voice shaking, "I won't follow you into madness." Reed's gaze burned through her, muttering, "Then you stand in the way of truth." Sparks burst from the fire as if punctuating his rage. Emily whispered, tears glinting in the firelight, "You've betrayed every step we took together." Reed's voice cracked, "I betray nothing. I reveal everything." The silence between them was sharper than any blade. The jungle howled, distant cries echoing like laughter. Trust crumbled, replaced with fractures too deep to mend. The jungle parted to reveal ruins towering above tangled roots, stone walls etched with symbols glowing faintly in twilight. Reed whispered, "We've reached the threshold." Emily muttered, "Thresholds are made to keep things in." From the shadows stepped a figure cloaked in black, posture steady, eyes calm yet cold. His voice carried authority, "You trespass on sacred silence." Reed's chest tightened, rage flaring. Emily's breath hitched, sensing power radiating from him. He was the keeper, guardian of secrets buried beneath centuries. Reed hissed, "You cannot bury truth forever." The keeper's gaze hardened, his tone final, "Truth kills faster than lies." The keeper stepped closer, eyes unblinking. "El Dorado is no city, but a wound that bleeds forever." Reed growled, "You hide behind riddles to preserve your control." Emily's voice trembled, "Maybe he protects us from something worse." The keeper's calm cracked, his voice edged with steel. Knowledge has teeth, it devours the curious. Reed stepped forward, fists clenched, obsession blazing. Truth belongs to those who dare. Emily reached out, desperate, whispering, "Alex, stop, he's warning us." The air pulsed with tension, as if the jungle itself listened. Shadows deepened, the ruins groaning like old bones. The keeper spread his arms, revealing scarred hands marked with ancient glyphs. His voice was low, "I bled to keep the world blind." Reed's breath caught, muttering, "You sacrificed truth for silence." Emily whispered, "Maybe silence spared lives." Reed's jaw tightened, eyes blazing, "I won't let secrets rot under moss and shadow." Keeper's expression twisted with rare anger, "Then you invite the curse to consume you." Thunder rumbled above as clouds gathered, the air sharp with storm. Emily's eyes filled with dread, torn between two men, one consumed by obsession, the other by duty. Lightning cracked, illuminating the keeper's face, carved with scars of old battles. He said coldly, "You are not the first, and you will not be the last." Reed's voice rose, trembling with fury, "I will be the one who endures." Emily's cry cut through the storm, "Endures for what? For ashes? For bones?" The jungle roared with thunder, rain pouring suddenly, drenching them in sheets of water. Reed's journal soaked as he clutched it tight, refusing to let go. The keeper stepped closer, his cloak plastered by rain, his calm voice slicing through chaos. "You've already lost yourself." Rain pounded as Reed lunged forward, rage eclipsing reason. The keeper blocked him effortlessly, his scarred hands pressing Reed back with brutal force. Emily screamed, "Stop!" her voice drowned by storm and fury. Reed gasped, struggling, "I won't let you bury this truth." The keeper's face hardened, his words cold, "Then you'll drown with it." Emily fell to her knees, tears mingling with rain, begging, "Please, Alex, let go before it consumes you." But Reed's eyes burned with obsession, refusing surrender. The jungle thundered, its voice echoing in storm and stone. The battle of conviction had begun. The storm raged, lightning carving the sky as Reed clashed with the keeper among fractured ruins. Emily screamed, "This madness will kill you both." Reed's face twisted with obsession, shouting, "The city is mine to uncover." The keeper's scarred hands slammed him against a stone wall, growling, "El Dorado consumes all who reach for it." Emily's voice trembled, her body shaking, "Then leave it buried." Thunder swallowed her words as rain drenched them, water rushing through broken carvings. The jungle shook like it mourned, roots tearing free as if rejecting the fight. Reed's fury burned, but doubt flickered beneath. The keeper released Reed, stepping back with contempt. "You've proven nothing but weakness," he spat. Reed staggered forward, clutching his soaked journal, muttering, "I've come too far to stop." Emily rushed to him, grabbing his arm, her voice sharp, "Look around you. This is what El Dorado does." The ruins glowed faintly, symbols igniting with golden fire beneath rain. The keeper's voice thundered, "The city awakens only to claim." Reed's eyes widened, obsession turning to awe. Emily whispered through clenched teeth, "It's not calling you, Alex, it's warning you." Lightning struck, casting golden reflections in Reed's eyes. The ruins split as stones collapsed inward, revealing a hidden chamber glowing faintly. Reed gasped, whispering, "The heart of El Dorado." Emily pulled him back, shouting, "It's a tomb, not a treasure." The keeper's voice cracked with grief, "I buried brothers here so the curse would not spread." Reed tore free of Emily's grip, stumbling toward the light, his obsession blinding. Emily cried out, "You'll die in there." The chamber pulsed like a living wound, golden light shimmering through cracks. The storm above roared, trees bending violently. The jungle groaned as though warning them to turn away forever. Reed reached the chamber, golden light pouring over him, his face alight with madness and awe. He whispered, "It's real, it's mine." Emily sobbed, "It's killing you, can't you see?" The keeper's voice boomed, "The city does not belong, it devours." Reed trembled, clutching his journal like salvation. The light grew searing, burning his skin, tearing screams from his throat. Emily lunged forward, dragging him back from the threshold, her tears mixing with rain. Reed collapsed, gasping, the golden glow fading from his eyes. The chamber dimmed, retreating into silence, as though rejecting his claim. Silence fell as the storm eased, leaving ruins broken and smoking. Reed lay pale, staring at the sky, whispering, "The truth." Emily knelt beside him, tears streaking her face, whispering, "It cost everything." The keeper turned away, his cloak heavy with rain, muttering, "Some truths were never meant to surface." Emily's gaze hardened, her voice steady, "Then I'll bury what he could not." She pulled the journal from Reed's limp hands and cast it into the fire. Flames consumed it, sparks rising like lost souls. The jungle sighed, wind carrying whispers through trees, the curse sealed once more.